We're here for the chats. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel La 13. I'm Noémie, I'm a student in costume making here in Brussels, and today I wanted to start a video where I'm starting a little crafty kit. Now, I've already failed the video basically, it's all a failure. No, I wanted to do an unboxing with you guys, but I didn't realize yesterday that the box that came in the mail was that thing I wanted to unbox. So I promptly opened it, spoiled everything for myself, and I was like, oh, that's so much for unboxing it with you guys. So I saw what it was and I was like, oh, quickly shut the box, I haven't seen anything, let's pretend that it didn't happen. So I have peeked into the box, but not properly unboxed it. Now, I have so much homework and study to do today. So I'm leaving the unboxing as a little reward at the end of the day for myself and to do with you guys. So the plan for today, and once I'm going to say the list, it's going to make me panic, but basically only the first and last thing on the list are really big, the rest is more small tasks. So it's going to be fine. But I need to do the entire written work that's going to go with my suit bag. So I showed you in the last... You've seen in a vlog recently the final suit bag I've made. Milo's giving up, he's lying down now. You've seen the suit bag I've made, and along with the suit bag you give a work that basically has the technical pieces drawn on. So we need to do a cutting plan that is at the scale 10%, so quite technical to draw. I can't just do it on my iPad, it needs to be in a proper vectorial program where you can do it to scale, because when you print it, the teacher needs to be able to measure it, and it has been printed at 10%. So you can't do it just, roughly. It needs to be exact measurement. So you need to do the plan, the material list, then the list of the different pieces. So I retake the pieces that are on the cutting plan and I replace them and put numbers, and I say, here are the pieces that you need. And then you do the whole instructions. So that I have already done. I have the instructions and I have most of the technical drawings going into the instructions. And I think for this one, that's it. When we are making a garment or breeches, a medieval dress, we also need to do a study of the history of the breeches and medieval dress. So those written work going along with the sewing work can be fairly intense. I'm happy with my studies and I don't want to complain or anything, but I'm a bit shocked at how much not sewing we're doing. And I mean, it's fine, it's interesting to learn how to do instructions and everything, but it takes so long. So that's what we're doing today. The written work for the suit bag. Not exciting, but it's got to be done. So that's the biggest thing in the morning. For staging, the work is mostly done and finished. I just really need to do putting the photos in the right places, doing the referencing. So that's that. Hopefully that goes quickly. Then for drawing, so for each drawing class, we have to arrive with 20 drawings done. So I try to not say basically every third word. That's really my, you know how you have a word of the moment that you notice, and if you film yourself, you notice particularly strongly that you're saying it a lot. Basically is coming a lot at the moment. I'm trying to calm down the basically. So we basically have to draw 20 drawings for each class. So what I try to do is draw a couple every day to not be the day before the class having to do 20. So I'm going to do a couple of drawings. That takes half an hour to 45 minutes, I guess. Then a little bit of studying or management class. This is the last one. So in the more boring topics, we had law, that's done. We had finance, that's done. And no management is the last one. And the exam is Monday in about 10 days. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time studying management. And then, we have a last scary exam, I would say. The rest hopefully is going to be a bit more chill. But it is patterning, and it's rough. It's really rough. I think I'm going to have to talk about what we do and how we do it in a separate video. I do want to make a video about using historical patterns. That's going to be probably for the summer, so don't hold your breath, but that's coming. So patterning, the last big piece for today. So a full-on day. So first doing all of this, and then as a reward, we will open the crafty parcel that's arrived and maybe start crafting. So we'll see. It's a big boring day, all for school. I thought I would be doing so much more sewing for sewing school. It's a lot of not sewing, today at least. Okay, let's stop procrastinating and get to this. And for whoever's wondering, this is our filming position. So you guys are there leaning against the lens, and that's my pile of things looking at me. And then I have the Corgi sitting between my legs while I film. Yeah, what a team we're making. He's not going to help with the homework today, is he? No. So where are we at? It's almost 4 p.m. and at 4 p.m. I should actually keep a clock near me. Okay, brilliant, I have my watch. So it's almost 4 p.m. and at 4 p.m. I have a call, so that'll kind of end my work day, at my desk day, because then after the call I'll take Milo out and then I have my sports session. How much did I get done? Yeah, not great. I feel like it's great because, well, I finished all the written work for the suit bag and I worked on the staging work and basically didn't do anything else. Look, what I did took a while, and also might have gotten pretty distracted about projector sewing. I just had a moment, so I'm planning my future projects and I was like, oh my god, it's going to be so much printing, such a printing budget and everything, and also such a time commitment because at the moment I'm mostly sticking patterns together. I'm not even printing in A0, but it takes so long, it takes so much of my time. And I was like, oh, I was watching Sydney Graham while having lunch and I saw that she had a projector and I looked into it, and it seems like everyone in the States has this Epson projector that kind of, you can just put it on the table next to you and it projects. And I didn't want a projector originally because I don't like change, as we know, but also because I didn't want to have a tripod, a projector. It seemed like a lot of material, and I especially don't want to make a hole in my ceiling, all that jazz. Like, it all felt like too much. But then when I saw the people who have the projector that you simply put on the table next to you and it projects, I was like, oh, now we're talking. Like, I am interested and I am listening. Because literally, I looked at it and people were like, oh, you can have a setup for $80. And I was like, $80, like even if I convert into euros, I use this in printing budget so fast. So I was like, it might be interesting for me actually. I don't know. I feel like there are projects where, especially with the Tetrising I like to do, I feel like it's worth printing, but it's also because I always print all the sizes and trace and the time I spent. And I used to be like, sewing is my hobby and I'm happy for it to take longer, but no, I'm like, with the amount I'm doing, I feel like I'm tracing all the time. Okay, let's keep moving. I came here to show you a few things. I'll start with news, happy, sad, newsy news. If you have followed my tour of fabric stores of Brussels, you will remember the fabric store Moondust. And actually, I didn't tell you back in December, but I did work for Moondust during the month of December, and it was a great time, and I was really happy to work for them. It was a great experience working in a fabric store, water treat, etc. And I had even said in my goals for 2025 that I was going to say 2024, but it is 2025, gosh. I had said in my goals video that I wanted to teach, and it is because I had something kind of in the pipeline with Moondust. Now they are closing, so I no longer work in a fabric store, and potentially it's going to be harder to give workshops because they're closing, obviously. But so that's the news. I was working in a fabric store. Sad news, they're closing, but happy news, they had a 40% sale on everything because obviously they're now trying to empty their stocks. And so with the 40% sales, I got myself an insane amount of underwear elastic. This is the folded over elastic, and I use this to make undies, and I literally got 5 meters of every color I thought could be useful. And fold over elastic is quite expensive. So if you make your own underwear and you use your jersey scrap to make them, obviously you don't pay anything for the fabric, but it ends up being quite expensive just for the elastic. So I was like, well, great, I'll get as much cheap elastic as I can. Next thing I got is something I had finally decided to bite the bullet on, and it is pliers to put poppers. I don't know, it's a type of thing. It's not so expensive. This was originally 17 euros and I paid just over 10 for that. I have all of those bed sheets. That's something I'll do at some point in the video with you. I have all of those bed sheets that are just open at the bottom, and it means that the blanket kind of like shifts down through the night and then ends up all out of the sheet. And I thought I could just put poppers and then that would be sorted. So as everything was 40% off, I also got a whole range of colors of poppers, all kind of like my type of tones, as you can see. But yeah, so I got myself pliers and a million poppers, and that is a good use of a 40% sale. Now, the pièce de résistance. I have been contacted by Babylon Leather, which is a website that does kit to sew your own leather bag. I was super pumped and I asked my wife, I was like, what do you think of them? She went into look into them and she was like, the subreddit for like leather work has said that they have really good leather. So I was like, look, if Reddit has said they're good, it's good enough for me. So it has been approved by my wife, and now we are opening this. So basically when you get a box, you get something like this. This is a future bag. So I have a little horse, a leather horse, as you do. I have, it's so beautiful. I have 2 little scarves to attach to the bag afterwards. That was the easy part. And then I have scary looking bits that we don't know yet what it's going to be. This. And a bag. Yay! It's not ready to... Oh, it smells really leathery. It really smells like really nice leather, actually. Okay, so this is my bag so far. It still needs a little bit of TLC. As you can see, I can't go out like quite right now. But I'm going to take you along into making this bag. I think it's super cool because honestly, as you know, I really like sewing bags. I already have the half moon bags. I've made a few of. I also made my project bags. Like, I do like making bags, but making bags out of leather felt really prohibitive because I have a friend who's doing a course in bag making, and let me tell you, the sewing machine she has is no joke. Like, it's a whole different sewing machines. I think it's like over 1,000 euros for that machine. She has special things to cut the leather. Like, it's not just something I could whip up at home easily. And so thanks to a kit like this, it kind of removes the barrier that there would be to sew with leather, because basically the pieces are pre-cut so that you can just like sew them together by hand. So what I'm planning to do is to swap my knitting time into bag making time. I'm hoping that it's going to be the same amount of relaxing and just like, yeah, get in the flow, but without the sewing machine. Like, sometimes I find that the sewing machine is quite... Oh, I need to get on my code. Hey, Noémie from the future. I just edited this part and I realized that maybe this is not clear. I wanted to clarify. So the brand has gifted me this bag, but I'm not paid to talk about it. So this is not an ad, but this bag has been gifted. The call has been done. We are now back here filming. I was saying, the sewing machine sometimes feels quite intense because it's noisy, it's intense. I don't know. It's like, I'm not always in the mood for the sewing machine. Sometimes knitting feels a lot more relaxing. For me, it's in the category with like cutting patterns, sticking patterns together, knitting, those more calm, quiet activities. So what I'm planning to do is to swap my knitting this week for bag making. And I'm really hoping that's going to be cozy, quiet. Milo, what do you think? They smell good. Oh my god, he's like loving the smell. Okay, Milo wants to eat my bag. Is that a problem? Not gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty intimidated. I hope I'm going to be good enough for this. I tried to do a cute unboxing with Milo because he's very interested in the smell, and I was like, oh, it's going to be so cute if, I don't know, he smells the box while I open it. But the dog is scared of boxes opening, and so you can see on the clip he's like smelling it, and I opened the box and he's like, what is this witchcraft? Need to walk away. And then he just like lay next to me and didn't want to go near the box anymore. So no unboxing with Milo today. I have been trying to start filming for a while and I can so feel that it's not going to work. I'm way too focused on what I'm doing, but let's give it a go. I'm still kind of prepping, but hopefully once I am sewing, it will be fine. But I realize that maybe I may not be the best person to be doing two things at the same time, like doing a bag and chatting with you guys, especially because I have lots of notes and lots of things I want to talk about. But let's give it a try. I am currently sewing up those little bits here. I have already done the front of the bag, and so yeah, going to do those things. Oh my god, I haven't done it for a couple of days. Do I still remember how this works? I should be able to remember how this works. I'm still going to not be able to film, I'm gonna see, and there's so much I want to chat about. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so I started filming this whole video on Thursday. That's when I did the unboxing. On Thursday night, I actually started sewing. I literally did 2 stitches and I think I was a bit tired and I was like, okay, I've done 2 stitches, I kind of see how it works, I'll leave it for now. On Friday I was very busy, it was an editing day for me and there was no time to sew. Oh my god, I can realize I'm going to do so many mistakes because I'm chatting with you guys. I need to stay focused on my sewing. So on Friday, busy day, and then we had house admin stuff in the evening, which meant that no sewing for me on Friday in the evening either. On Saturday, still no sewing. On Saturday, still no sewing because I went to Antwerp where I had a little day trip. And I went to Antwerp to meet an expert for a video that's coming up, I believe in 2 weeks for you guys. And I'm very excited to share everything with you. It was a very interesting meeting. We talked for 2 hours and a half, so good luck me to translate a 2 hour and a half discussion into a short and manageable video. Then afterwards I met a friend for a drink and a snack, and I had French toast with creme brulee on top, like creme brulee flavored French toast. It was so nice. I love creme brulee and truly it was a delicious snack. The drink I had was a red velvet latte and that was not so good. Not vibing the red velvet latte. The chocolate that they had in it was not good enough quality for me, I think so. I have high standards in chocolate. I'm Belgian. All that to say, very nice day in Antwerp on Saturday, and on Sunday I did canny hiking with Milo again. So that's hiking with your dog. He did really well. It was nice. I mean, it's nice to be out with the nice weather and everything. He was very tired afterwards, poor thing, but a nice walking moment with my dog and my friend and her dog. And then Sunday afternoon, I started properly the sewing of my bag here. Oh yeah, I should have said, but I'm doing my craft. You are more than welcome to grab your own craft. If you don't have a craft, at least grab yourself a drink because as you can see, we're here for the chats. And yeah, in the end, I didn't sew yesterday. I have to say yesterday was quite an intense day. I think partly hormonal, that time of the month, etc. But I have an exam coming, it's making me quite stressed. And all I wanted was to get this project and to sew it by hand because I knew that it would relax me, that like doing the hand sewing would be very nice and exactly the type of activity I'd want to do. But because I was stressed about my exam, I also felt like I should study. So when I feel super overwhelmed, I love to listen to this YouTube channel. I'll put the name on screen so you can see what they are. Oh my god, I absolutely love the type of music. It's so relaxing. It's exactly what my brain needs when I go a bit in hyper mode. I'm very, very picky with my focus music. I can't have anything that my brain is going to recognize because then I get distracted by the melody I know. I don't really like too classical music like a Mozart or something. I find it too distracting. I find it too much. I also don't like any of the musics that have clicky sound. ASMR truly doesn't work for me, and I feel like since ASMR became really big, lots of lo-fi music have lots of clicky sounds, and I really don't like listening to that. So I need relaxing music that doesn't click, which is harder to find that you want to think, like music that is relaxing, that doesn't have a tune that I start to recognize too much, which is also why I can't listen to the same playlist over and over again, because then I start to know them and then they become distracting. But that YouTube channel, the perfect relaxing playlist, and thank God I have them, because I really need them to study and sometimes just to put my brain at ease. I feel like clearly the wavelength of these YouTube channels' music goes right for my brain, and every time it goes like, the music starts and my brain's like, yes, that's good, that's very relaxing. Oh, my tea's been brewing for like half an hour. Black tea brewed for half an hour, what a delicacy. I still want it though, so I'm keeping it, but I did not realize that you would get special thread with those kits. Maybe that's me not realizing the truth about what you need to do leather work, but I didn't realize it was not just like your normal polyester thread. So I have to say this thread is a lot easier to use. Your polyester thread, you kind of easily, I mean, I think it's also polyester of some sort, but it's clearly conditioned with some wax or something. And with normal thread, you would make knots quite easily if you have big amounts of thread. But here, because of the wax on it and the thickness of the thread, it doesn't make any knots. So it's super easy to use. And even if you need big amounts, so for example, when I did all of this, you need quite a lot of thread to do that. It doesn't make any knots, which is pretty nifty. Just an FYI, if you are ordering a bag yourself, if you don't mention that you want the matching color, you will receive a white thread. So this is written on the product page, but in case you're not reading all of the fine prints, make sure you mention that you do want the matching thread. Because for example, on this bag, on this, I feel like it wouldn't be as pretty if you had a white thread, and that the blue thread goes much nicer. So if you want something that looks professional, I find that you would want the matching thread. So don't forget to mention that in your order. I was kind of thinking, what am I not thinking about? And I feel like if you are not thinking about it, it means that it's not a problem. And if it's not a problem, it means it's well made. And first thing is, I think the kit literally had everything you need in it, including the little clipper, for example. So literally you could, I mean, I haven't reached the end yet, but to this point, I could have been alone on a desert island with my kit, and I could make this bag. So they don't assume you have any material at home, which is pretty convenient, because this way you don't need anything, you receive it all in your kit. And then also, so far, the holes have been always matched super well. I feel like it's something, let me show you this one again. It's something that could be such a pain if they were slightly misaligned between the front and the back when you need to sew them together. Honestly, everything I've sewn so far was just a breeze. There was no issue nowhere. So very easy to sew. The instructions so far have been very clear. I feel like some people would have preferred written instructions. So what you get with your kit is a link towards a tutorial video, which is not in English but subtitled in English. So I personally watch it on mute and then just read the subtitle, and that works very well for me, because this way I can have my own music and look at it being done at the same time. But I feel like maybe some people, if you really like written instructions, you have to read them of the video. But it is helpful to look at it being done. So I think you would need the video anyway. Just want to give a heads up that this is the way the instructions are given, through video and not through an instruction booklet. One thing I have noticed is that often they tell you to get 5 times the length of thread you need for the piece, and that gives you enough to do the special type of stitching that you need to do for them. I have found that 5 times is a little bit much, and that in the end you end up wasting quite a bit of thread. And then also it's obviously more annoying if you have to go, you know, with a very long thread every time. So what I have now been doing, this is not official tips, this is really just me. I have used more 4 times a piece of thread, and that has so far worked for me. So if you're starting out, do not do exactly what I say, because I don't want you to be in trouble because you listened to my advice. But if you also find that you have long leftover threads and you feel comfortable, you feel like you can assess how much thread you need and everything, you could always, like me, shorten it a little bit. It might give a slightly more comfortable sewing experience, but start up with what they tell you to do and then assess once you are a little bit more comfortable with the kit. Don't just do what I say, because I don't want you to be in trouble because I just said that I do it a specific way. And actually, very good to note, but even though I had to unpick an entire section of the bag, so I mean, I had the thread for all of this, so this is quite a lot of thread, and I ended up just cutting it to make the unpicking a bit quicker for myself. And even though I wasted all of that thread, I still had an entire spool of thread by the end of making this bag. So just so you know, like, running out of thread is kind of a constant fear in my life. So just if you are a bit thread anxious like I am, just to reassure you, you really have plenty of thread. So really no need to fear about running out. So talking about bags, Blackbird came out with the Mia Messenger bag, and gosh, I love a bag, and I mean, as you can see, I'm literally making one. You know, I have made quite a few bags by now, and I really like the Mia, and I really am tempted to make one, but I know it simply will not be practical for my life. I have a very fragile back, and because of that, focus moment. Oh, good. And because I have not a great back, what I tend to do is either have a very small across the body bag, like the one I'm making now, or like one of my half moon bags, you know, something small that's not going to hold too much weight. I have that comfortably across the body, but anything a bit bigger, I just need in a backpack version. So I know that something as big as the Mia Messenger, I would put too much weight in it. I mean, it's not going to be pretty if your Mia has your wallet and poo bags in, it doesn't make sense. Poo bags for the dog, by the way. So I know it doesn't make sense for my life, but it's so pretty. Is any one of you making the Mia Messenger? Can I live vicariously through you? Other topic of discussion, but this week on Love to Sew, the guest was Sewstein. Already, how does she do it all? She is a doctor. Her website just says doctor, but I think she's like a fancy, impressive titled doctor, if I remember correctly. So she's a doctor and she makes those costume dresses. It's absolutely incredible. I didn't know of her before this Love to Sew podcast, but I have literally added everything she's... I'm like, well, you guys, my notes are there, but you are there. I have added every single one of her videos to my to-watch list. I have a very full to-watch list once more, but I'm very interested in seeing what she does. And it really got me thinking how I really want to make that type of things as well, but I'm always torn because those projects take so much time, the material is so expensive, and it ends up being projects that you're not really going to wear, or at least I'm not going to wear because it's just not really practical with my life and with the reality of what I wear. Like, I'm just not going to make a ball gown. But so been thinking a lot about it and about how impressive everything she's making is, and how it really makes me want to also make some projects a little bit in that vein. And what I have been thinking is that probably one year I should get tickets for the Versailles Ball, because not even so far from our place. I mean, Paris is 3 hours by car and about an hour and a half by train. Like, it's super nearby for us. And so I'm like, maybe I should one year get tickets for the Versailles Ball and just bite the bullet and make a dress for myself and for Francesca and have that as a big project of the year. But that means that it's a year where I know I'm not going to get as many other projects done, but I don't have any concrete finished thought on all of this. It's more that I was listening to the podcast with Christine and I was like, I would love to be also this person. And I understand that you can't be every person and that you sometimes have to make choices, but this really appealed to me, and yes, I would love to make something like that. I'm going to see if that's possible. I would also like to go to the Bath Convention, which is also not so far away from us. I mean, a bit further away, but not so far. Jane Austen Convention in Bath is what I meant. and to make us Regency outfit. And Regency outfit would be so much easier than Versailles appropriate outfits. So yeah, that's maybe for a future year. I mean, not anytime soon. Like I'm not giving any dates, and definitely not now. I'm full on with kinky boots. Oh, I had a meeting with my drag queens yesterday and they're so lovely. I am so happy. I'm so happy. They're like so nice. I can't wait to dress them all. It's such a pleasure. Sorry, tangent. I'm happy, really happy to be working on kinky boots, but that means that this year is going to be a kinky boot year. And so no going to Versailles anytime soon, but maybe next school year. So that means like 2027? Maybe 2027, but at the same time it'll be my last year of school, which means I already need to do all of the intense work of the third year, do my final project. But yeah, are you interested in people who are doing hardcore costume things? Are you doing hardcore costume things? How do we feel about it? Because I'm really torn between finding it amazing, like truly amazing, but then also thinking about the cost of those fabrics and everything, and then the fact that they never get worn. What did I do? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, sorry. Just give me a second. Okay, we are back on track. Okay, I needed to grab this piece because I'm sewing the top here and I'm going to have to sew it onto this. So it's actually good we're reaching to the end of me babbling, because I will need to focus to not do anything stupid right now. But what did I want to say? To teach. My note says to teach or not to teach. So Moondust is stopping. I have been teaching dance in the past and loved it. I absolutely loved teaching dance, and so it makes me feel like, yes, I will love teaching sewing, because the activity of teaching is something I really, really like. I love sharing something I'm feeling passionate about with people, so it's something I have a good gut feeling about. But I'm also feeling like right now I have so many projects. You will be able to tell how much I'm doing just because of how many Friday videos are coming. I had said I would not do Friday videos. I had said it would be Monday videos and that's it. But I just have so much, and like in the best way possible, like not complaining at all, like in the life is so cool, there's so many cool projects. Really, I'm saying this super positively. I have so many projects at the moment that I can't really picture also starting teaching this year. So we shall see. I'm not signing anything yes or no either way. We'll see what opportunities come up. I'm very much one person to not be able to say no if the right opportunity turns up. So maybe I'll teach, maybe I won't. I just wanted to say maybe at the end of the year I will not have achieved that goal, which is fine, because sometimes you achieve other goals and you do other things, and that is also okay. I guess it must be because of its shape, or because it's like a bit thicker, but this handle has been a little bit more tough on my hands, I have to say, too. Or maybe it's because I've been sewing for longer than I have on previous occasions. I don't know. In any case, I'm happy to be soon finished with the handle and have a little break to give my hands a break from the thread, because it's getting a bit sore. But totally forgot when I talked to you just before, but actually this afternoon I have a play date. I mean, Milo has a play date with a Corgi puppy that comes from the same breeder as Milo does. Normally, after this clip of me finishing my handle, which I'm literally 5 stitches away from done, then there's going to be super cute Corgi puppy content. So enjoy! I'm not going to film too much for the bag video anymore because I already have 1.5 hours of footage, so it's already going to be fun to edit. But I just did such a boo-boo. So little note for yourself, if you are sewing up one of those bags, when you are reaching the end and you are getting excited and you can see the finish line, I have exactly the same with knitting projects and sewing projects. Like, I'm getting super excited because the end is coming, and then you make a mistake and you have to unpick a ton of unpicking. So lessons learned, even though we're reaching the end, even though we're like, yes, I understand that stitch, like, I'll just go. Look at the instructions properly. I basically had to sew, so it's the bottom of the bag and you have to start it one stitch down from the first stitch, and I started matching them up, which meant that the middle of the bag was slightly off-centered, and that obviously it then didn't reach as high as it should on the other side because I started it too high on the first side. So lessons learned, look at the instructions properly, even when it's the end and you're getting cocky. It's a typical thing for me to do at this point in a project. So clearly I don't learn, and I should have. I'm like, why didn't you look at the instructions properly? Gosh. So it's fine. It's like half an hour of sewing that I have to redo. It actually works well for me because this way I study a bit, then I reward myself with some sewing, and then when my hands and shoulders are starting to get a bit sore from the hand sewing, I go back to studying and the cycle repeats, and it's a good way of keeping the rhythm of the day going and to stay motivated with studying, to have the fun breaks coming up. And just like that, we finished. I am so happy. I feel like I have still so much to say. I did a very good job at editing already the first part of this vlog, and there was a lot of footage, so very good job of me, but I'm going to try to keep snappy in the last things I want to say. First, at the end, I really did typical Noémie, made a mistake, unpicked, told you about it, went back to sewing and almost went right side against right side when this is sewn wrong side against wrong side. So I almost made an entire different mistake and almost had to unpick. I happily noticed before starting to sew, but I was really like, gosh, that's really exactly the moment in a project when I start to do everything wrong, apparently. But it went well. I feel like I have to give you a warning. This is so addictive. I finished this yesterday night at 10:30 p.m. Was I supposed to keep sewing for so long? No, I was going to start at a reasonable hour. But I could not stop. I saw the end coming. I saw the end of the project, and I couldn't stop, and my finger was all red and raw, and it's actually, in 12 hours, it's actually doing already much better, but I was really like, I can't stop. I can't stop sewing. I don't care, it's late. I just need to keep going. So I feel like I'm going to start with a big addiction warning. I expected to enjoy having the final product, but I was not sure how much I would enjoy doing it, and oh boy, I just wanted to keep working at it. I feel like, again, if you compare it to knitting, it's a very similar satisfaction and a very similar process that puts you in the flow. But for me, knitting takes months, you know. I don't have the result of a knit project for so long, when here I could see it move forward, and it was so addicting. I just wanted to show you, the brand has not asked me to do this, by the way. I'm just so excited because as soon as I finished this one, I was like, can I get more? So I just wanted to show you the two bags I was hesitating with when I chose this one in the end. And the first one is this one, is the minimalistic shoulder bag, which I think is super cute. And the other one was this saddle bag, which is rounded, and I thought that was really nice. I really like the style of it, but at the same time I did want something a bit more challenging, and I felt like this, with all the buckle and all of the extra work, was a bit more challenging, which I'm very happy I did, because I feel like with the round bag the fun would have been over too quickly. And also I thought that the round bag, even though it looked really cool, would be less practical to actually take stuff with you. No, I don't know. No, I'm like, oh, that round one is really nice. Yeah, now that I look at the round one, I'm like, maybe on my list for a future one. Now, one I really have my eyes on, and like really have my eyes on, is the Birkin tote. I will show you a photo so you can see the shape. They have it in like fire engine red, and that, ooh, I think if I had to get another one right now, it would be that one in red. They also have one of those shapes in a very similar light blue to this. And as you might be able to tell from what I'm wearing, from the bag I chose, if you know my style in general, I have a small obsession with light blue. So I was really like, oh, I really like that bag in the light blue, but it seems like maybe it's too much to have only light blue, and I feel like I have to force myself to branch out, and if I just made one in light blue, maybe it doesn't make sense to make another one in light blue. So I think even though right now I would choose everything light blue, the red would be such a power bag to have. So I might be starting a new obsession. Oopsie. So 2 news. 1, I have a discount code for you guys. So if you use the code LaFraise10, you get 10% off your own leather bag kit. And that's sweet, in addition to any actual discounts that are already on the website. So LaFraise10 to get you 10% off. And I will put the link in the description down below. I want to let you know that this is an affiliate link, which means that it doesn't change anything for you, but it does give me a little kickback if you buy through my link. So if you were going to get yourself a bag anyway, getting it through my link, it's a very nice way to support the channel. I want to thank No for tipping me a coffee. No is a fellow bag lover just like me, so we get each other. And I hope your healing is going really well. Okay, time to wrap up. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget that you can make anything, including apparently leather goods. Who knew? I'll see you in the next one. Bye!